Hi, this is Jonah Park,
and Sung Soo Yoon.
and we're here to talk to you about ManQ's principle number 7.
Governments can sometimes improve market outcomes. So we already know that the invisible hand has a significant influence over the market. But tell me, Jonah, then, why do we need governments?
The invisible hand does allow the market to flow naturally on its own, but governments are important particularly for one reason. They enforce certain rights. Some examples? Let's talk about efficiency.
We can picture efficiency as enlarging the economic pie. The market on its own at times fails to produce at its maximum capacity, and we call this market failure when firms on their own can't be efficient. This is where the government needs to intervene.
Right. One possible cause of market failure are externalities. For example, smoking cigarettes not only harms the smoker him or herself, it may harm also the people around him or her as well. So one person's actions will most definitely affect those around them.
Another cause of market failure is the concept of market power and the abuse of such powers. This is basically the ability to influence the market significantly through raising prices, and this would also lead to market failure.
The government counters these possibilities by enacting public policies. Let's go back to the smoking example. In order to reduce the harmful effects of smoking, what can the government do? They have a number of choices they can make through establishing policies. They can raise the prices of cigarettes or even limit smoking locations.
Another area in which the government helps to enforce rights is in the market's equality. We can think of this as dividing the economic pie. There are always going to be discrepancies or differences in the economic well-beings of people in different classes and different occupations. For example, Kobe Bryant will obviously make much more money than Gary Kasparov, chess grandmaster, simply because people are willing to pay more to watch NBA games rather than chess games.
So where does the government play a role in this? To equal it out, it must intervene by placing income taxes and with their welfare system.
Okay, but it's still a little dry. Can you show me an example that I can actually relate to?
Sure. Since we're both seniors, let's take a look at private schools versus public schools in terms of their financial aid.
So I see that private schools offer better facilities and faculty and education in general in exchange for high tuition. Now I can imagine that this creates inequality because not everyone can afford it. And so what do the private schools have to worry about then?
The private schools must be aware of the risks they are taking in charging students at such amounts. It also provides financial aids at a steeper interest rate, which is why some students drop out of classes as they can't afford to pay back their debt.
I see. Then the public schools, they're at the other side of the spectrum, with affordability but less emphasis on the quality of education or facilities. Plus, they have to remain affordable, which means they need government subsidies to run.
So what should the government do to ensure all students receive equal opportunities of higher education? In short, it subsidizes both public and private schools.
This you can think as of the government investing in the future of the students, as the educated populace will be responsible citizens, efficient and specialized workers, and informed voters, which are all positive externalities that the government would want.
Okay, so discrepancies exist, and the government does its best to equal it out.
Just remember this one thing. Governments can improve market outcomes, but it doesn't mean that it always will. So it's never guaranteed that the government will have a positive effect on the market outcomes.
Thank you for your attention.